and welcome to the Winter 2020 edition of Anime Seasoning, a show that just because it has a title doesn't mean I'm ever gonna do it again. I'm your host, Cream Cheese California Roll, and I watch a lot of anime at the start of every season. I also stop watching a lot of anime at the start of every season. Some I even cast into the depths of hell itself, as has been granted to me by law in the states of Kentucky, North Dakota, South Carolina, and Maine. What I'm going to do is take the names of every single anime that I have seen thus far for the start of the 2020 winter season of anime and write them on little scraps of paper like this one. And then I'm going to put it into this hat which says, "What the Fluff?" That's a festival that commemorates marshmallow fluff. And the reason it's important you know that is because even though I'm Native American, we mustn't forget that a not insignificant part of me is white. I'm going to pick a name out of the hat, say a few words about it. I'm either going to recommend it, not care about it, or cast it out. You know, like how normal people talk about media that they consume. Let's begin! Nekopara. Okay, so what if there were, like, a maid cafe, right? But all of the girls were dressed like cats. What's that, I hear you say, highly cultured individual? Something like that already exists? It's actually incredibly common? Oh, well, what if they were just, cats? You know, like, what if they were just cats and they had the whole ensemble, they had the ears, the tails, they wore the dresses, they said nyan all the time, but what if they were, you know, cats, like they behaved like cats, they were just cats in human bodies. Girl bodies, of course. They can't be boy cats. I mean, can't fetishize boy cats, you know, yuck. This show is weird, and I don't like it. This show belongs in the trash, with all the used cat litter, hairballs, and other cat-related garbage items. And if you're worried that I might be ticking some people off with what I had to say about the show, allow me to say, the people who like this shit have something to learn from California Cream Cheese's bevy of burns. And I'll just say, oh, well, shut up. Sorcerer, Stabber, Orphen. A warlock's sister is turned into a dragon, but he doesn't want to kill her, and that gets him kicked out of the Magician's Club. So now he's a wanderer with nowhere to go, but he's like really strong. And that's basically the whole premise. There is a part where the main character Garvin stomps a child in the middle of the street for stealing his money, and I thought that was just hilarious. But it's not really a good reason to watch a show. Everything else about it was just kind of bland. I'd say let it gestate for a little bit. Wait for somebody who can't help themselves but to see the entire thing, and then just go with whatever they say. Takes a hell of a lot of pressure off of me. Waza. DOROHEDORO. There's a man. He's a Cayman. Named Cayman. Actually, there's a man inside of a man. That's a Cayman, named Cayman. I don't really think I gleaned the plot very well while I was watching this, but I did like it. I thought the aesthetic was really cool. I thought the CG animation really worked well for the character designs, which I also really like. I really admire the character designs of this. I like the look of the world. I would love to see, instead of a Cyberpunk 2077, I would like to see a similar type of game set in the world of DOROHEDORO, because I just think the world looks so cool. I may not have paid attention to most of the plot, but I'm really interested in it, and I'm in, and I think you should be as well. Doing really good. Asteroid in Love. This is how I read things. A young girl joins her high school astronomy/geology club with dreams of naming an asteroid after an old friend with whom she's lost contact with. Only, surprise, that old friend is in the club too. Holy... Well, hold on, let me see if I can get it up high enough. Nope. Oh, Jesus. I almost fell like an asteroid right there. I thought this show was going to be kind of cutesy and nice, like A Place Further Than the Universe, which, for those of you who don't know, that happened to be on my best of 2018 anime list, and I was kind of hoping this would be in the same vein. It was not. It was far more bland, a little bit more boring. The characters weren't as interesting at the start, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. Just meh. Meh. I'm still a little embarrassed from stumbling, so. Next. Let's get a good one. Big money. Inspector. I don't know how to pronounce the slash. There's a backslash in it. We're going to avoid that part. Inspector has a fun pun for a title. The main character investigates different spirits, yokai, monsters, cosmic anomalies, what have you. And the first one she investigates, she really wants to get into his pants. They should have called the show Inseam Har Dihar Dihar. While the first episode was on, I believe I was boredly scrolling through Twitter, liking things, retweeting things, tweeting about how angry other things made me. So I didn't really get a whole lot out of the first episode of this, but I don't think my laziness is a good enough reason for you to not watch Inspector. But I don't plan to watch another episode of Inspector, and if you want to copy me, because I am a great individual to copy, I think you should just leave it. Toilet-based Hanako-san. Legend tells of a spirit that haunts a stall in the third-floor girls' bathroom. She'll grant you a wish, but beware the monkey's paw, for you'll have to give up something in return. Also, and most important, the spirit is a boy. How did he get in the girls' bathroom? I actually like this one quite a bit. The art style, it's Lurch, so it looks kind of like Assassination Classroom. They also did the Danganronpa animation, and I've always liked Lurch as an animation studio. The aesthetic of this one is really nice. I liked it a lot. Got a few laughs out of it. Pretty funny. I still think it might be worth waiting on. I liked it, but I think you might want to wait a couple episodes just to see where it's going, because I don't think the show is going to be anything necessarily groundbreaking or plumbing breaking, or perhaps word breaking if you want to stumble over your lines, Chris, you fucking failure. We're going to keep that take. What did I say? Oh yeah, I'd say wait on this one. Oh, I looked in. Can't be looking, don't want to give myself away now. I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out defense. Fucking hate that title. Goddamn sentence titles. A girl is playing a VR MMO for the first time. She's afraid of taking any damage, so she puts all of her points into Vitality. At the end of the first episode, her level is absurdly high, she has full immunity to poison, and she's gotten a legendary loot drop. I would say that this fake game is horribly unbalanced. Needs a little bit more time in QA for bug fixes, and, to be honest, I don't think it could really compete in a crowded loot-based MMO genre. I would say waiting on the anime as well, because hasn't really done anything of note. There were a couple of jokes that were okay. I don't think the art style is really anything necessarily to write home about, and like I said, that genre is pretty crowded, so gotta do something to stand out. This one didn't in its first couple episodes, so I don't know, wait. Red color river. Keep your hands off Eizouken. So I think most people are already familiar with this one because the OP has been kind of widely spread and it is really catchy. They did a great job with it. It's also done by Yuasa, and that's automatically going to get a bunch of eyes on it. If you are one of the people who don't know about this series, it's about 3 girls that want to make anime together, which is, as we know, a mistake. I'm not going to begrudge them that. The series itself is a love letter to a medium known for storytelling and artistry. The characters are fun and funny, relatable. One of them is into concept art. One of them likes to do kind of like background stuff. One is into character art. And then the third girl, she likes fat stacks of cash. So it's really relatable. I've watched 3 episodes to this point of Eizouken. It's been really entertaining. Each episode is fun. I love the characters. I highly recommend this one. It's great. So, yeah, easy recommendation. As the great Captain Smith said right before he hit the Titanic, we are making excellent time. Id invaded. A brilliant detective is brought into a digital realm created by the lust for murder, felt by a serial killer before he commits his heinous act. I actually really like this show. It's incredibly intriguing. I like how the id is an explorable world, and the psyche of the individuals being explored affects the look of the world and how it operates. How the detective has to move through it is different each episode, and I really like that. And I think I've got some dust that's about to crawl into my eye. I'm really sorry about this, unprofessional, but it makes me want to kill someone. And now you can explore my mind world, oh detective. Good luck figuring that shit out. What I really like about it is it's like a fascinating way to have a mystery story, or mystery stories, plural. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Minority Report in a way, where it's like a future crime sort of setting. I really like it. It was just really cool. I think I've seen the most episodes of this just because the most episodes have been available to this point, and I've eagerly watched every one. I highly recommend this one. It's been one of the favorites so far. You know, as my mom used to say, you watch too much of that shit. You're right, Mom. Plunderer. Oh, fuck. In the world of Plunderer, everyone has a number associated with them, and that number is tattooed to your body. If you're a dude, it's someplace respectable, like your big dumb forehead, maybe your arm. You know, if you're female, though, it's going on your bare titty, your inner thigh, or possibly your buttock, depending on how racy these animators want to get. If that number reaches 0, you're pulled into the abyss forever, where no light shines, no sound escapes, and no joy could ever possibly exist. It's kind of where the show itself belongs, if I'm being honest. Get it out of my face. It's gross, alright? It's gross. There's a lot of sex pesty stuff in it. I don't like that. Ugh. If Hayao Miyazaki thinks anime was a mistake, why did he make so much of it? Oda Cinnamon Nobunaga. Hello, Moto. Hello? I don't want to talk to Sirius XM. I don't even like them. What if feudal lord, brutal murderer, and warmonger Oda Nobunaga was reincarnated as a cute little Shiba Inu? He still has all of the memories of Oda Nobunaga, but he's a dog. So he's addicted to belly rubs, he hates baths, and he likes to dig holes everywhere. That's your concept. Roll with it. What do you think? I think it's phenomenally stupid, but I couldn't help but love it. It is such a silly, dumb little show, but I really like how he's a Shiba Inu, and he's got like the big angry eyebrows. I thought it's fun. It's just fun. It's really stupid, but it's really fun. And the other feudal lords from the time are there as well, and their other dog breeds. It's kind of hilarious to watch them all interact as if they were, not only are they dogs, but they are also these old feudal lords. So, I mean, if you've ever played Dynasty Warriors and been like, fuck, why aren't they all dogs? Well, then this would be a show for you. We're down to 5. Things are getting intense. Infinite Dendrogram. Gesundheit. Infinite Dendrogram. Infinite Dendrogram. Infinite Dendrogram. What was Infinite Dendrogram? I don't remember Infinite Dendrogram, and you think I would because I'm saying the title so effortlessly. Infinite Dendrogram. Oh, yeah, that's another one about a dude who goes into a video game, because we don't really have that many of those. Silly me for forgetting it. So yeah, Infinite Dendrogram, a guy goes into a video game, and his brother is there too, and his brother is dressed like a bear, and that's quirky. Main character completes a quest, as you do in video games, and his reward is a woman who obeys his every command and calls him master. Good. Good, good, good. That's great. Just great. Infinite Dendrogram. I don't know if I can really recommend it. You know what here's what I recommend you do. I recommend you treat Infinite Dendrogram like it's a video game. Put it on your shelf, convince yourself you're gonna play it someday, never do, it sits there, collects dust forever, and it doesn't matter at all. You know, I'm kind of worried because there's one of these that I don't really have a lot to say on, and, you know, it's the one I wrote information for first, and, oh my god, who knows. Oh, this is the one! Somali and the Forest Spirit. Hell yeah, man. Good, get that shit out of the way. I was kind of hoping that one was going to be first. Okay, so I might not have set that up particularly well. I actually really like Somali and the Forest Spirit. It's a little overly cute, but I've enjoyed it so far. I'm worried it's going to end sadly, but I'm really digging it. It's about this forest golem who adopts, in a way, a young girl. He dresses her up like a little minotaur because humans are all but extinct, and she kind of imprints on him in a way, and he takes on this fatherly role, even though he's, you know, like an emotionless robot, and constantly says, like, I do not feel these things that you say I should be feeling, other characters. And yeah, that's about all I wrote about it. Essentially, when this really was seasoning and less jokes, it was more just, hey, I thought this one was good, you should watch it. So that's what I get for not revising and editing my script any further. So it's a tip for you kids out there. I'm really mixing these final three up. You never know what it's going to be. And we got here. A destructive god sits next to me. A high school boy is tired of his Chunibyo classmates. That's middle school syndrome for those not in the know. And if you're really not in the know, think of it like it's method acting for a play that nobody wrote, where all of the characters are dark wizards. These dorks are gonna ruin our main character's grades, and he needs to get them to focus. I kind of enjoy this one. I like the interaction between the group of characters that have been introduced thus far. It's been pretty funny, and I don't know, I've always kind of liked series about Chunibyo characters just because they kind of allow the animators to have fun while having characters who are really quirky. Although, of course, I never really find it relatable. Like, I don't know anything about Chunibyo or anybody like that. I mean, I am as bare bones, white bread a guy you can get. I don't do anything silly. I'm not into silliness or anything silliness adjacent. I'm just cream cheese California roll. A perfectly normal man. Would I recommend this series? That's my answer. You can write that down. Is it a yes or no question? I answered. So there you go. My favorite thing about making videos for YouTube is they always start off really serious. You know, like I have a script and I follow the script and I go about it. And then as I film, I just start to be like, screw this, man. Let's just have some fun. HATENA illusion. Can I do a magic trick? Whoa! A young magician demands to be taken seriously, so he seeks the tutelage of a great man of magic. Now, this particular man whose tutelage he seeks has a daughter who he used to get on real well with, and she's actually keen to see him again. But then, unfortunately, she finds out that he was not the she that she had thought he was the whole time. So they're childhood friends, and their entire childhood friendship was predicated on her thinking that he was a girl the whole time, but it was a boy the whole time. And when she finds out, like, oh my god, this guy is a guy, she becomes enraged. She wants him, like, thrown out of the house. She wants him, like, get this man from my sight! But, thankfully for our young protagonist, who is just a really nice, friendly, acceptable, agreeable doormat that talks, he is kept on by the staff that works for this rich girl because they see the opportunity for forced love to blossom. So he is brought on as a butler so that he can wait on his love interest hand and foot. You might not believe this, but I have not watched Penn and Teller's masterclass on magic, but can someone who has please cast a spell on this show and make it go away forever? Because it's mean-spirited and I don't like it. It's the most action this hat has gotten in quite some time. Darwin's Game. Alright y'all, stop me if you've ever heard this one before. A cell phone app is evil, and cast the show into the fire, okay? I, for one, am just tired of evil cell phone and cell phone application shows out there. They are just ridiculous at this point. I mean, the iPhone has been out for, what, 13 years? Why is there such an abundance of evil phone application series? I like death game shows, but I tend to balk on them a little bit if they're brought about by a cell phone. It's just unnecessary. I mean, what phone application is out to attack or plot against the end user? I mean, they can't write that into the licensing agreements. That's against the law. As the Baseball Writers Association said to Derek Jeter before he wasn't unanimously voted into the Hall of Fame, there's only one left. HATENA illusion. I already talked about that one. I guess a real magic trick was performed on me. That's odd. So, that was everything that I saw in the winter 2020 season, at least the first between 1 and 3 to 4 episodes of whatever I decided to stick with. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please let me know by subscribing to the channel, liking the video, posting some comments about what you thought about all of the shows that I talked about. You can follow me on social media. I'd like to thank my $2 and up patrons who are seeing this a day early, and oh, did I not take this out? There's still a little scrap of paper inside the hat. Alright, we'll open it up. It's gonna be HATENA illusion. Ha ha ha. Oh, magic tricks, aren't they fun? Interspecies reviewers. I've seen episodes of Eromanga Sensei, of My Sister, My Writer, shows where the main character literally wants to have sex with his younger siblings. Those shows didn't make me want to recede inside myself until I was an infinitesimal speck, incapable of cognizant thought, speech, or basic sense. I pined to be returned to the primordial soup, rendered of emotion or feeling, after just one episode of Interspecies Reviewers. This is one of the worst things ever. I often make jokes about series like this where titillation is the main selling point as being written by sexually frustrated 14-year-olds. You know the type who really want sex, they know what it is, but they can't have it, they're not aware that they're not yet ready for it, and they express their frustrations over not getting it by just kind of frenzying over boobs. This show is not that. No, this feels more like it's written by 30-year-olds. 30-year-olds that might have 1 or 2 hard drives with photos on it that one might consider questionable. And if at any point while I'm saying any of this to you, a JPEG happens to appear that contains a volume of Rurouni Kenshin, well, that would just be entirely unrelated. Now, of course, this needs to be said that I don't intend to accuse the creators of this show, or anybody who watches it, or any company that happens to pick it up and possibly dub it in the future. I'm not accusing any of those people of committing crimes, because everything in this show is carefully worded and steeped in disgusting loopholes. Don't worry, the show eagerly tells you as you watch. You don't have to worry about a thing, okay? You don't have to feel skeeved out at all. It's a show about fantasy characters having sex with fantasy women and applying a numerical rubric to them. Yikes! Don't worry, the show scoffs again in your dumb face. It doesn't matter that 3 of our characters look really young. Yeah, 2 of them look like young boys, and 1 of them looks like a little girl. You don't have to worry about them. Yeah, this guy might look like Kaminari from My Hero Academia, but he's an elf. He's 200 years old. It's fine. He looks like a teenager, but he's of age. Sure, this other character may look like an adolescent boy that has a high-pitched female voice actress that's being smothered in tentacles and titty. He's a dwarf. We're gonna call him halflings, but he's a dwarf. He's hundreds of years old. It's fine. Yes, this character looks like a little girl, but it's an angel. It's hundreds of years old. It's fine. You don't have to worry. On top of that, it's intersex, and he identifies as male. Everything is fine. And you know what? After enough times of being told that everything's fine, your brain starts to think, maybe everything is fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. You know what? Maybe I'm just being a prude, as has been known to happen. Maybe this is all just innocent. Maybe. Maybe. It doesn't feel that way, but maybe. And then there's little things start to happen. Little lines of dialogue are peppered in there, and things start to build up in the back of your mind again where something's wrong. I'll give you an example. That angel character I mentioned, there's a line of dialogue that he has where he mentions his own genitalia, reveals to the audience that he is intersex, but he also says that the reason why he identifies as male and why he told the other 2 main characters that he did identify as male is because he says, and I swear to God this is in there, he said that if he had told the 2 of them that he identified as female, they might have done something unsavory to him. Whew. Or how about later when that same angel character is brought to a brothel that he's clearly uncomfortable at and coerced into sex that he clearly doesn't want? The narrator, the disembodied narrator, says, the undefiled angel joined the party and was immediately defiled. If you ask me, there's not a sea deep enough, a pit dark enough, a place in space further away for this thoroughly disgusting show. Shame on Funimation for picking it up, by the way. And if you're out there and you're like, I want my weird fat fetish show, fine. But don't hide behind loopholes, and don't hide behind coded language to make it sound like any of this shit is acceptable, because it's not. So, that was the Winter 2020 season of anime. Overall, there was some stuff I liked. Some stuff that didn't really hit its stride yet, but may, some that won't, and some stuff that should be avoided, for sure. Kind of like any other season of anime, I guess. That's all I got. I've been your host. What was it? Cream Cheese California Roll. And if you liked this thing that I did and you want to see me do it again for the spring season, say so in the comments, or say nothing. I might just do it anyway, because that's kind of how I roll. I love you. Bye-bye.